What's up, people? Thank you as always for passing by the channel. Much appreciated. Happy New Year in advance. Hopefully 2018 has been a good one and you set some good resolutions for 2019. I don't necessarily believe in New Year's resolutions. I think we can do and change things throughout the year. I don't know why we wait until the end of the year to do it, but nonetheless, if you have set New Year's resolutions, fingers crossed you can stick to them, and fingers crossed you have an amazing 2019. My time here has come to an end. I leave to London finally. I go back home in about I don't know why I've done that, I've not got a watch, but I leave to go to London in about 4 or 5 hours, which is fantastic. I've missed London a lot, so I can't wait to go back home. I've got some collaborations coming up. I'm meeting up with the guys from Fight Hype. I'm going to do some bits with them. I do want to sit down and get Ultra Tech on camera and Hatman. That would be good. Those are my almost 2019 early year goals. I'm only in London for like 3 or 4 weeks, then I come back here permanently. So in those 3 or 4 weeks, I'm going to try and get in touch with Ultra Tech, Hatman, Fight Hype. And obviously you guys have been begging for me and Ryan to sit down and talk, so I'm going to definitely, like without a shadow of a doubt, get me and Ryan on camera and almost do a 2018 review and a 2019 preview. All right, enough of that. Anyway, let's talk about the fight that has been made, or it looks like it's going to be made. It's not been officially signed. It's not been released, but I think the people in the know it's happening, and that's James DEGALE versus Chris EUBANK Jr. Remember, this fight was supposed to take place in December. It got pushed back, rightly so. So much boxing happened in December, and it would have been swallowed. And not just so much boxing, but so much boxing on pay-per-view. And we're going to talk about the fact that this is on pay-per-view in a minute, but so much boxing on pay-per-view happened over December, it would have been almost swallowed. And I think it deserves to almost stand alone for the fact it's going to be a good fight, right? It's not a fight that is a case of number 1 versus number 2 or 2 top 168 pounders. I guess I still would have James DEGALE in and around the top 6 or 7, but he's no longer obviously the James DEGALE of a few years ago. And Chris EUBANK Jr. is at the wrong weight, should be at 160. And I think it's fair to say isn't the best boxer. He's gutsy, he's determined, he's strong, he's powerful, he's got great combinations. But in terms of just a boxing foundation, I don't think he's got the best boxing ability. So I think in a way, because James DEGALE was almost slipped a bit and Chris EUBANK Jr. isn't as good as some people thought he was, it's actually a good matchup. And I think it will be a competitive matchup. For those of you that don't know, and I'm sure all of you kind of do by now, the fight does fall on ITV. There was a rumor that Matchroom might be able to get the fight. Remember, James DEGALE wasn't signed to anyone promotionally. He's managed by Al Heyman, but promotionally he's not signed to no one. And nor is Chris EUBANK Jr. after the World Boxing Super Series. So they're both freelancers in a sense. So they could have took the fight anywhere. BT Sports, Matchroom. And Matchroom was in the running to have this fight. But obviously with Al Heyman and PBC both now coming over to the UK and James DEGALE being managed by Al Heyman, I think they've put the most money on the table. Both of these guys wanted 7 figures. Are they 7-figure fighters? I don't know. But both of them wanted 7 figures, and it looks like ITV and Al Heyman have supplied 7 figures. In order for them to get 7 figures, ITV have chucked this fight on their box office platform. That's pissed off a lot of people. It doesn't shock me. If I'm honest with you, I kind of knew if ITV were going to get it, it was going to go on box office. But it is funny when you think that they're going to show Manny Pacquiao, 8-weight world champion, versus Adrian Broner, 4-weight world champion, for free on their ITV4 platform. And they give us James DEGALE versus Chris EUBANK Jr. on the box office. Bit strange, but that's how it works in boxing. But look, it doesn't really surprise me, as I said. I think George Groves versus Chris EUBANK Jr. done okay numbers for ITV box office. And they've obviously just said, you know what, let's just chuck Chris EUBANK Jr. on there again and hope that he can get anywhere between, I don't know, what's a relatively good number, 70 to 100,000 pay-per-view buys. What's their pay-per-view cost? £15, is it? So 15 times 100,000, what's that, 1.5 million or so, whatever that is, my maths are rubbish. It's decent money, right? So I can understand why they've chucked it on. In terms of the fight itself, look, these guys genuinely do not like each other. It all seemed to stem from a sparring session that happened 6 years ago. Chris EUBANK Jr. said he bashed up James DEGALE, which really means nothing in sparring. He done the same thing to George Groves, and we saw how that fight played out. James DEGALE obviously didn't like that. So it's going to be tetchy in the build-up. James DEGALE has said some, I think, derogatory things about Chris EUBANK Sr. and his fight record. So there's going to be a lot of tense build-up to this one, which is going to sell the fight even more. Both of them can sell a fight. They have their own unique ways of doing it. Fight itself is going to be interesting. I think 80% of the best of James DEGALE can beat Chris EUBANK Jr., but I don't know if there's 80% left. He's had tough fights. When you think of those 2 back-to-back Truax fights, even the one that he won was tough. Badu Jack was tough. Andre Durrell was tough. Lucien Boutte was tough. We can go on and on and on. He's had tough fights. I think as we get to see more and more of this version of James DeGale, I think it's fair to say he's past his prime, right? This is the guy that now sits on the ropes. This is the guy that now ships punches. He hasn't got the gas tank he once had. I think it's fair to say he's cashing out now, right? That's the reason he gave up his IBF belt. And to be fair to James DeGale, if he wins this one and looks impressive in beating Chris Eubank Jr., which he possibly could do, I mean, there's a big money fight against Callum Smith in the summer. So look, the reward is there for him if he looks impressive. Chris Eubank Jr., look, again, he's fighting at the wrong weight class. In terms of size difference, there won't be too much. I don't think James DeGale was the biggest 168 pounder. I don't look at him as one of the big bulky 168s. He's not a Callum Smith, for example. And what he needs to do in this fight, and we're going to do breakdown videos in the lead up to it, he needs to put the pressure on from the get-go. One thing Chris Eubank Jr. has got is fitness. He hasn't got boxing ability, and I don't think he's got the biggest punch as well, but he's got fitness where he can literally go 100 miles per hour, it seems, for all the 12 rounds. If he does that, he's got a chance. But even if he does win, he's got to go back down to 160. I think 160, almost scares him a bit. You look at the names at the 160-pound division, and I favour all of them, all of the top 160 guys to beat him. Charlo, Jacobs, GGG, Canelo, Billy Joe Saunders, Andrade, any others that are in the top 10. So I understand why he's staying at 168. So he's got a tricky situation. Does he beat James DeGale and stay there? Or does he do what James DeGale does and just look for the big, exciting money fights? They don't bring rewards in terms of belts, but they bring reward in terms of money, right? If he can continually fight an ITV box office and cash those checks without taking too much of a risk against the top boys, then I guess he's happy with that, because I think we know ability-wise he can't beat the top guys. Is James DeGale still top? I'm not sure, but I guess we do find out in what? I think it's February 24th it goes down. Again, ITV box office is a bit of a piss take, but don't be shocked by it. What did you expect ITV to do?